Okay, so we pressed stop instead of pause, never mind. And I don't know if you can see in the distance, while I was taking a piss, a Black Hawk helicopter flew over. Yeah, we missed that while I was taking a urine break.
Cool garden shot, though.
That is the cool garden. That's what we just walked by over there. And I gotta say, this is the cleanest porta potty I've ever been in. It has, it's almost better than my bathroom at home. But yeah, that's a shame that we missed the Black Hawk helicopter. But yeah, it's starting to get a little bit darker now as we're on this trail through High Park, and this is a very enjoyable way to spend a summer's evening. Often get a little bit too lazy to motivate myself to come out and do things like this. You know, sometimes when you're on your own, it is also a little bit difficult. You know, it's like, fuck it, I can't be bothered now.
Yeah. Sometimes I forget if you're talking to that or me.
Yeah, and it is very weird. I'm used to sort of making videos on my own, so sort of having somebody else with me, and someone that doesn't mind. Oh, is that a little puppy? Bless him. Hello. Hey, buddy, it's a spaniel. But yeah, there's some lights and things. Is this what's going on in here? Is that where the Shakespeare is?
Yeah.
That's like a little stage in the amphitheatre, I believe. So that's where the Shakespeare in the Park is going on, and you may not have heard that. Yeah, it kind of reminds me of that movie Southern Comfort. Certainly when you look at the trees and the greenery down there, although...
Probably down the other end. Your lights on, brother.
Oh yeah, there was no lights in the restroom. So there, that served a purpose. I actually used it. It wasn't just there to look good. So yeah, that's pretty interesting over here. The little amphitheatre, Shakespeare in High Park, and there's a van that says it's
like
Shakespeare.
Stairs that elevate all the way up. It's built like a coliseum kind of thing.
Yeah, and that's the dogs off a leash area over there. And there is a dog off a leash.
What, you dropped something there?
No, it was someone left a cap, Timmy's ice cap lid. Oh my goodness, that coffee, the caffeine, it's done me the world of good. I think that's probably what was causing my headache more yesterday, the caffeine withdrawals. Right? Huh?
You saved it.
Yeah, I've still got lots.
Yeah, you're going to need something right?
Yeah, because I certainly like to enjoy a cup of coffee with my smoke. Yeah. Nothing better than a hot cup of joe and a freshly rolled spliff.
Hear that?
Yeah. Is that the owl?
Yeah.
And you don't have to make the noise loud, they can hear it, right?
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Sounds like a juvenile. Where was the screech owls, man? Sound like the screech owls actually. The smaller ones, they're only like this big, full grown.
Yeah, they're
the
very
ones here
tiny.
Like this.
I do like owls. They're very
yeah, they're cool.
Fascinating creatures.
This is like a little kind of workout area.
Yeah, I was just going to say that it looks like a little gym for the people that are.
So look at this whole area. This tree, that big ass log, the log behind it used to be right here. They've moved it. It used to sit right here.
Really?
Yep, right up to this. So when I walked through here one of these nights, I'll tell you when we're off camera, but I saw a whole bunch of weirdo kind of people doing some really questionable stuff.
That does sound intriguing. Maybe we can whet the appetite of the viewers to want to hear that story. We might have to do an after dark special, adults only.
The people who encounter me see me talking about them on a video. That's the point.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing, right? But maybe we could do it. We could do it anonymously over a phone call or something. But yeah,
I'll tell you as soon as you shut off the camera.
Yeah, that's I'm guessing maybe some eyes wide shut type of shit. And there's some. I've heard that like there are some like kind of. I guess satanic, for want of a better word, people that come out to the park and practice.
Pagans, witches, druids. We've even built some stuff in the park to kind of represent some of those beliefs.
Really?
Yeah. Some of the trees, like a tree like that, will just have a face carved into the side of it.
Right.
It's like the Norwegian tree people thing.
Right, and this is one of the roads that will take you through the park. And I've actually driven through this. It's quite a nice drive.
Yeah, that's the main road.
And it is nice to drive through here after dark.
Yeah, I love it.
Oh, I do look. There's Stony, the bear that tells you not to make forests fires. I don't know why I find him cool. Something we didn't have in England. It just seems very North American.
So is the rabbit that's been eaten by an owl.
A rabbit that's been... Yeah, that's the fur there.
Or it's someone's dog and they just shed them out.
So yeah, there is a lot of fur. Let's hope it's not some kind of...
Sometimes you see it hanging off the tree and that's how you know. You watch the way the wind blows it. I don't see any of it anywhere, so I think it is dog fluff. In 2 different spots, so they do shed it. That's an American group by this herder.
It's starting to get a little dark. Oh, careful.
Yeah, don't kick that.
Yeah, look, that, my God, that would take my foot off in my flip-flops.
I thought it was an acorn. I was kicking it out of the way.
Yeah, I've had one too many personal injuries. We want to avoid them at all costs right now. So yeah, the darkness is beginning to descend here. I still see there's a little bit of daylight through the trees, but
Yeah, they don't pick up the light good, eh?
what's that there?
Yeah.
This one's not too bad. It's
like
actually looks lighter through the camera than in real life.
Oh, does it?
Yeah.
Mine's the opposite, man. Mine goes darker because it's iPhone. It's a piece of crap.
Yeah, this phone's pretty new actually. It's got a 48.
And these logs, you can cool sit on. People sit and chill there.
Yeah, that does look like a good place to chill. But yeah, I've got like a 48 megapixel camera, and it's got kind of like the nighttime stuff built in. So it's not too bad. You don't want to be falling down there. That could.
No. I kicked it with this foot and it kind of made that knee all funky. Watch this stuff here.
Yeah, look, there's some wooden things in the ground. You know, it almost makes me want to kind of camp out overnight in here. Maybe I should bring my bug out bag in.
If it was more light, I'll take you up there. This is where some of them sleep. They got the little shanty shelters they make.
Yeah, you know, probably if I need better footwear than flip-flops to be going off the beaten track.
Some of them come down and stand in the bush.
Yeah, look, that looks like a nice little kind of recreational area for the homeless.
Yeah.
I know if I was homeless, that would be a recreational area I would utilize.
The weirdo dude is just stood in the bush like 10 feet and he watches me with the koi wolves and stuff, right? I can hear him walking and moving and stuff. And then they're already out there, so I know it's them, right? These guys' little place up here.
Ah, and here's a little bit of a clearing. I know where we are now.
Yeah.
I think so anyway. So this is where the car parking area, and look, there's the darkness of the forest behind us as we descend into the light of the clearing. And yeah, look, we've got a little bench over here that we can go and sit down on and do our thing.
Continue through, man.
Okay.
Right there.
Oh, and just the smell alone,
Yeah,
it's quite energizing just to get the freshness of the forest and the grass, and you can feel a little bit of dew coming on the grass at the minute as it gets.
You're better off grounding because you're more connected.
Yeah, no, that's what I was saying. That's why I like the flip-flops and walking through the grass, because you do get to ground a little bit. And
there's the zoo.
There's the zoo down there. And this looks like we may be going into uncharted territory. I thought maybe that the garbage cans might be like that thing in Harry Potter that take you into another another dimension. And look, there's murder line over here. It's not murder line. It does look. It is police tape, right? No, is it? Caution.
Yeah, let's check it out. Must be
Fuck it. How bad can it be? If we find a body, we find a body. Be like Stand By Me, that movie. That's why. Look, there's a tree that fell. Another bit of water over here.
Take a look at the water. You don't see any water bubbles coming up or anything, do you?
I can't see now. It's very still.
When you stand on it, it starts to make water bubbles coming up. It only works for some people, though.
Yeah, you can look, and there's some little water walking bugs there. But look at this tree that come down. Isn't that wood? Yeah, look as though there's some termites or something in there.
Oh, the lightning and the wind.
Yeah, and this is a really cool little spot. I kind of like it.
And this definitely looks like lightning or wind, and it's just rotted on the inside from the ice storm. It rots from the inside out. After the ice hits it, it rots the wood literally on the core. That's the middle of the tree. The outside's tougher. This is the tree.
Yeah,
this is the middle.
That's like stuff you can see.
So once the core goes, it loses everything, man. You can push it over, bowl it over.
This is a really cool little spot. I like the water, and there's a little log over there.
Yeah, it's awesome.
And there's a little secluded bench for us. Look. Although I can't, the little log there would have been nice down by the river.
One there too when it gets raining.
Yeah, look, and there's is there bathrooms in there? No, that's just a gazebo type thing. Someone's left some trasher. What did they leave? It's a towel.
I wouldn't touch it.
Yeah, I'm not going to touch it, but if anybody did need a towel, there's a little bit of trasher for you.
Wash it in the creek and then they can touch it.
So let's get the selfie stick situated, and we'll do some rolling.
Yeah, I brought my pipe. I normally smoke a pipe.
Alright, I don't like the way that's working. Let's just stop the video. Alright everybody, we found a nice little table to locate ourselves on, and we are about to do some rolling. You want to roll yourself something there, buddy?
I'm good, man. I got some nuts in here.
So yeah, we're 4 of 20. There's a little bat. Don't know, should we put this thing in the sky a little bit so we can see the things flying overhead? But there is a little bat fluttering around. Yeah, you can see him. And our boy, the crying hippie, is doing his Dr. Dolittle in communicating with him. But this little bat, he's keeping us company. He's pretty cool. And there's a little lone star up there in the distance. Probably can't see on the camera.
That would be Venus, they say, man.
Is that Venus?
Now, remember when you were a kid? Were you ever looking at stars and shit when you were a kid?
Yeah, very much so.
Remember you couldn't see Mars all the time. You couldn't see Venus all the time, man. You could only see the constellations.
Yeah, I can remember seeing the Big Dipper and
North Star, man.
the North Star.
Constellation and the North Star, and then all of a sudden you could see Venus. All of a sudden.
Yeah, I mean, every now and then you get you can see Mars with a clear eye if you look.
It's the same deal, man. Gradually you could, then all of a sudden it's out all the time, and then they did the exact same thing with Mars, man. You could see it here and there for a couple of days with some people, then all of a sudden it's out for a couple of weeks, a couple of months. Next thing you know, it's in the sky all the time. People that know about the Hopi prophecy.
I'm trying to point at Mars or Venus rather.
Yeah.
Sorry, carry on.
The Kachina Blue Star prophecy or the Hopi prophecy. They talk about a red, brown, and blue star. That they're warning signs. NASA's already admitted, even if you don't believe in NASA, but they've said they found a brown dwarf, a blue dwarf, and a red dwarf star. All three of them are out in our vision of scope. They've seen them. Right,
yeah, I've heard something about that, because we used to have a TV show called Red Dwarf in England, which is like a comedy spoof of kind of Star Trek.
Do you want to put some of this in, man? You don't put tobacco in it, did you?
Yes, I do.
Oh, you did?
Mix. Not yet, I haven't.
Oh, we'll put this in instead of tobacco.
Which is this?
The Purple Kush.
Oh, it is? Well,
From the same guys.
Yeah. Why not put some in? But I do need my nicotine as well as my
Oh, you do, eh?
Yeah, I don't like smoking my weed without the tobacco, unfortunately. Many people kind of frown
How
on
much
that.
do you put in it? Just a little bit?
I usually put a whole cigarette.
Oh, are you fucking serious?
Yeah.
No, dude.
I'm
Well, you do what you do, right?
as I say, I like my tobacco and I like my weed, so I kind of put it in. I don't smoke just a cigarette on its own, but I'm gonna put a little bit of this in. Roll yourself something. Try some of the powder. I think there's some Gorilla Glue in there as well. It's a little bit of a grab bag of everything.
Sweet, man.
But yeah, I do.
This harsh.
What's that? The Purple Kush?
It like hurts your throat, kind of, man.
Yeah.
It's grown outdoor. And
I've smoked it before. I've been using the guy's kind flowers for
Yeah.
quite some time, and I stocked up a little while ago on that purple stuff because it was very
this
cheap.
is what it looked like, right?
Yeah.
Fluffy and,
They do a Purple Kush outdoor and they do a Purple Kush indoor, and we've got a couple of bats flattering around above head now that are seemingly saying hello. And I guess we've kind of gone in a little bit of a circle from where we started off, because that's west in that direction, right?
If this
No,
is
that's east.
It's a big rectangle, right? And what we did is we came up to the top corner and we walked down the one far side of the rectangle. If we go right to Lakeshore, then we're at the farthest you can go.
Oh, is that Lakeshore that direction?
Yeah.
So that's south, so that would be east.
And then the park keeps going this way, yeah. West.
Yeah, so I'm just kind of trying to get my bearings.
Walking on this trail all the way straight takes you to another trail that goes along Lakeshore. But if you go left over the bridge, you know the bridge at McDonald's?
Yeah.
Then you're on the real Lakeshore Trail.
Right.
It's right downtown, man.
Yeah, that's right down. That's right by where I live actually. So I've got my tweaker torch.
You haven't tried the Gorilla Glue, man?
You haven't?
No. You can tell which one it looks like, eh?
Probably not. Most of it is the bigger ones are the power, I know. The critical
mass.
And
is
I
that what
think
it is? Critical mass?
this I think is Gorilla at the bottom. No, I'm Critical Kush. There's a critical. Everything's a Kush or a critical these days.
Yeah, it's both. But they have critical mass too, man.
I don't think I've seen that on the Kind Flowers menu, but that's the Gorilla Glue. That's supposed to have 30% THC.
Need light?
No. I just need to puff it, get it going. Maybe I do.
Yeah, dude, it's really fucking cool meeting you, man. You're a good guy.
Yeah, no, this is good. Like I say, we're kind of neighbours, and you're the first kind of YouTuber that I've bumped into. That little bat's still flying around. Look.
Yeah, they're all over the park, man. Every time you look up.
I really want an owl to come. That will be quite a nice.
Yeah,
nice.
On the way out. Well, definitely, man. I'll see you. Guaranteed. Like they listened to me coming all the way in here. They heard us. I was doing the call. I heard her twice while we were talking.
Maybe
the cam was going both times. I said, "Oh, here she is," and then you stopped when we heard the bird and the owl at the same time. The owl just goes like this.
Yeah, it's a very subtle.
Yeah.
Subtle.
Then that other bird was going like.
A couple of people on a bike.
So the screech owls will do the same thing, but they'll go quick. Like I said, that might have been a screech owl. They go like chirp, 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 chirp. But their normal call, they just go every time. It sounds like a little mouse, and then they go with their beaks like 3 times. They snap their beaks.
Yeah, sometimes when I'm like sitting, because I'm literally a stone's throw from the park where I live, late at night,
Yeah.
you know, I'm out sometimes 3-4 o'clock in the morning sitting on the stoop smoking, and you hear some bird calls or some sounds that you don't hear in the daytime. And like you say, when you live this close to a park, some of them do kind of. And I've been seeing a little possum.
That's freaking cool, man.
Coming around a little bit. He come right up close to me one day. I don't think he realised I was there exactly, and he kind of come up. And by the time he, oh my God, there's about 7 bats flying around now. I don't know if you can pick this up.
You reminded me. Man, I saw a Chinese panda. You know what Chinese panda is?
They're like the red ones, right? Is it the red panda?
Or no, not a Chinese panda. That's a normal panda bear. What the frick is this?
But there is a red panda. I know I've seen them in zoos and stuff.
This thing, it comes from China. Some kind of weird thing. It's like a raccoon that looks like a panda bear.
Yeah.
And it doesn't have the raccoony tail. It has like a fat ass, like round back end to it. I'd seen it going like right out my back window, man, when I was living on Queen Street. And I'm like,
Really?
what the fuck? And I phone my cousin. I go, dude, you see what I saw, man? And he's like, man, there's no way you've seen anything like that. I go, man, it's like nothing I've ever seen before. And then it didn't dawn until months later. Wait a minute, the exotic animal trade in Toronto.
Yeah, that's right. They actually closed somewhere down recently, though, about the exotic animals. They were somewhere on Yonge Street, and these rich and wealthy people were going there, and I think they were either eating very exotic animals.
Shark fin, man.
Or
it was Chinatown. They got some guy in Chinatown with shark fin. That's just a different story.
So these little bats are very interesting, watching them flutter around. And I keep thinking on the camera there's a little dot on there. It looks like the moon, but it's not. It's on the camera.
When we were younger, you'd chuck your smoke, and a bat would swoop down, but they'd never grab it, right?
I kind of want to do that to see if it will swoop.
No, don't, man. Throughout the years, the magnetics and shit, now they will. They'll literally grab it with their feet and they end up getting burnt, man. Yeah.
I remember I went to a wildlife park in England, and they had a bat exhibit. You had to go inside it. It was all like nocturnal and dark. And it was really cool because the kind of bats would like land on your finger. And kind of put your hand out, and I guess, you know, they got very used to being in captivity and cool, being close to humans. And they're very fascinating because they're rodents, right? They're not actually birds, they're rodents, and they look more like mice and rats. They just have
them up close to you.
It's skin, it's not wings. They use their skin to flap around, you know?
Some of them that have like get trapped in the lights, they'll stay there during the day instead of going into the roost because they're trapped within a light and they can't see what they're doing, right? So they'll be stuck on the side of a wall. Used to see them at a shopping mall I went to, right where I was getting Timmy's, actually, man. Quite a few times, man. I'd help them get out. Sometimes you'd be in the double doors.
Right.
You gotta walk in 2 doors to get into it. One girl working there gave me a towel once to get him out. My buddy had one and kept it as a pet for a while.
Yeah, I'd like to keep a bat as a pet, although I don't know if they'd be a good...
No, man, they die quick.
Pet. Yeah, they kind of need to be out in captivity, and
you'd have to feed it like a mosquito and a little bug and a fly. Like, they have to eat their weight every night.
Yeah, and they some of them eat mice and things as well, right? Don't they? They eat
and actually,
small creatures.
I think I'm wrong. I think it's 3 or 4 times their weight in bugs every night, not just their own weight.
You know, yeah, they kind of clean up. They're a little bit like a vacuum cleaner for bugs. I know when I was down in Cali, we used to let the lizards run around in the house, and they would eat like the bug intruders in the household. In
Florida too, my uncle lived there, my aunt. Same thing, man. Let the lizards run.
And I do like lizards. I do like wildlife, actually.
Is it more red or more white?
It looks more white. I mean, you can't really see it on the camera at all. It's just a little pin dot, but it's like the only light in the sky, and it hasn't really got like really dark yet. The other stars will be illuminated.
The iPhone's so crap, man. You have to make it go totally dark as it'll go, and then it'll show it. Right?
I'm trying to get close, but yeah, you can just about pick it up. That we believe, that little white dot in the middle of the screen right now, that is what we believe is Venus, and there's the bat flying around. So we did catch it a little bit on the camera.
There's a ghost light, man. It's an orb. I can see the orb traveling. Oh, it stopped as soon as I said it. It knows that it's conscious. It's a conscious orb.
There it is. There's the orb coming through the woods. It's actually a guy on a bike. It's not an orb. We could have scared you and pretended that it was the ring and run off into the woods and started.
Conscious orb. As soon as I seen it, he stopped too.
But I am fascinated by these little bats that are flattering around.
You see the owls, dude.
Yeah, I'm hoping so.
You hear them more than you see.
Yeah, you hear. And a coyote would be nice. Oh my goodness, we've got some blurring stuff going on now on the camera. I don't know what's going on here. That's better, we've got the focus.
Used to be a bullfrog, man. I haven't seen him in 2 summers now. But every time there's a bridge down there where those people walk,
Mm-hmm.
every time I go over the bridge, I just go, and then he'd start croaking, right? So I'd do it every time, and I'd wait until he croaked, and then I'd leave, or I'd croak back at him, right?
Wow, there's a lot of bugs going on behind.
So it got to be like clockwork, man. Every time I come, I could hear him croak, right?
Well, that kind of brightens up the
Well, it
picture a
makes
little
them
bit.
come, though, man.
Yeah, we don't want to attract them. I'm trying to see if it glows in the dark. This torch is supposed to glow in the dark. I don't think it's dark enough to be glowing, or maybe the charge is.
Yep.
It's from Dollarama, dude. $1.50.
Oh, yeah, close.
You gotta kind of put it underneath a lamp at home.
Even though it's still got its own charge just from what you lit.
Uh,
You go like that, go like this, make a little hole, and look right at it. You'll see it glowing bright green.
Yeah, it did. I put it in the dark at home actually. Turn the lights out. It was pretty good, and it's kind of handy to have. If you know in your bag, you can see it.
Yeah, man.
You don't have to toss around.
Yeah, dude, this is like definitely the Gorilla Glue. Gorilla Glue is supposed to be really good, and then the best Gorilla Glue is number 4. This is Gorilla Glue number 2, I think, that they have on the site.
Yeah, they do. And Kind Flowers, for real, they're the best of the best. Certainly one of the best weed suppliers I've ever.
I got seeds in the purple and seeds in the pink.
Yeah, you do. Sometimes,
That's
definitely the homegrown, they give you a lot of seeds.
Yeah, you can expect that, yeah.
In some of their cheaper strains, you will see a seed or two, but plant them, see what happens. Certainly the outdoor ones, I remember I got a couple of ounces and there was lots of seeds, and I was saving them to plant, and then I don't know what happened. I dumped them or dropped them on the floor.
When I went to Africa, I brought back an ounce, a quarter ounce, and 3 grams of weed, right? Only because my dad's a fucking jokester, right? But he told me that we were smuggling ivory. We didn't have a permit for it. We had a permit for so much. He said, we don't have permits for this, but he was just joking. I said, you can't do that, man. We'll get thrown in jail, because it's really bad. You get caught, they throw you in jail for anything, and they try to bargain with your government to get you out.
Yeah, certainly don't want to be there. Some places you certainly don't want to end up behind bars in Africa. I'd imagine would be
screwed. And this was in '87. So I asked him again before, like a week before we were leaving. I said, are you serious? He said, yeah, we're going to put some in your suitcase too.
And you got that back, no problem.
So I was like, well, fuck it, man. If they're going to bring ivory and we get caught, I'm going to bring weed, and then I'll just say I put the ivory in there that was over the limit, and it's all my fault, right? It's the only reason I did it. I had pants like this, but they're golfing pants, and on the inside seam, it's open.
Right.
So I punched in 2 cigar tubes, packed right tight full of weed. Put one on one side, one on the other side, folded my pants, and put them in the carry-on.
My God, I shit you not. While I was talking to you, there was a little light, a tiny little light. I'm not lying.
Yeah, they're the fireflies.
Fireflies, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I just called it out of the corner of my eye. I didn't know if it was maybe a spirit orb or a firefly. And I've only ever seen like a couple of fireflies, and they still kind of fascinate me a little bit. Something, again, as a kid growing up in England, you'd only ever see on the movies.
Yeah, man.
And bats certainly remind me of.
Well, they had them in England. Fireflies. They had them in Scotland.
I've never seen them in my time, but then I haven't been everywhere in England to look, so possibly around lakes and things. There was another one, I just saw it. Wow, fireflies. This is pretty awesome. Yeah. I get so very easily. There's another one. What makes them go firing? It's kind of trippy a little bit.
To mate. As soon as they light up, it's so the other ones see them and they go to mate.
Right, so
and it's like competition, right?
Right, they're kind of peacocking.
We used to collect them, man, like jars.
Yeah.
Jar, like full of them, dude. Like, so the whole light jar.
It would be like a lamp, right?
Just like the cartoons, dude.
And yeah, that's the only kind of experience I ever had of fireflies.
But
and
we're
things
talking like 50 or more of them, man. We had like little nets, a little round net like this.
And
looked
that'd
like
be
a
awesome.
Little tennis court, right? Or a little tennis racket.
Maybe we could catch some in the Tim Hortons club. Unbelievably, I need to piss like a fucking racehorse again. So
your same spot.
I'm gonna go back to my piss spot in the bushes. This is like about the 10th piss. 50-year-old prostate. Okay.
Got a firefly on film for you.
You did? Awesome.
Yeah, and the bats.
That's pretty cool. And
Man.
you know, this is like one of those just little chillax videos. Nothing's necessarily going on, just hanging out, talking the shit, see what happens. And maybe a ghost will walk across the field for us.
Yeah, dude, this is cool. You know St. Paul's Church in England, in London?
Yes, I do. St. Paul's Cathedral.
Yeah, man.
I've been inside.
Years and years ago, man. It was going to be restored or part of it burnt down or something, right? So the guy who owns this park, he used to be an architect and an artist and everything. So he was really rich, and he plotted the spot for a park and dedicated for disabled people.
Really?
Toronto doesn't really tell that story, but that's the truth. It was meant for disabled people to have a place to go and enjoy their park. Turned out to be Toronto's biggest park, right? His wife got really sick, and she died. And he didn't want to bury her in a normal cemetery because back then grave robbers were really high. And
yeah.
Right? So he buried her right here, man. Just like about 500 yards from us, right up through here.
Really?
And her tomb's up there, right? So she has her own tomb. That's all garbage, man?
Yeah, that's the garbage one in there. I've still got a little mouthful of Kimmies, so we can utilize the empty cup as a trash can. And there are still a few people walking around, even though it is getting dark and not very illuminated.
So their daughter, they also had a daughter.
And this is just in front of us here, although you can't see my fingers.
See the tall trees here behind this building?
Yeah, there's a little building over there.
man.
Actually, do you know what? I can put the flash on, but you said that is going to...
And it's
Yeah, look at all the flies.
all mosquitoes, dude.
So it is getting dark. They can only kind of see the sky. But yeah, mozzies are everywhere. So just over by this building is the tomb.
Yeah. You just got to walk up a hill a little bit. So their daughter kind of went crazy, man, and they locked her up in the back of the house when she would have these crazy episodes. Now, don't quote me on it. It was either his daughter or that was his wife, too. But I'm pretty sure it was their daughter. And she ended up dying in the cellar, in the basement. Or that's how his wife died. She went crazy in the end, and then she died in the cellar where they ended up locking her up because no one could deal with her, right, when she's going crazy. So that's a lot of unrest with her, right? That people will hear her screaming at the back of they call it Colburn Lodge. It's a little lodge up here, right? So people will hear her screaming. Some people see a man that's in a normal period clothes, like a suit,
Okay.
with a jacket, and then the round hat. You know the hats, like the Hamburglar wears. It's a
Yeah,
round
the
hat.
Hamburglar hat, like the what do they call it? The boater,
Yeah, man.
the boater cap.
He wears one of those. So I saw him too, man.
Goodness, I tell you
Walking
what.
through the dog park. Let me finish this though.
Yeah, go ahead.
Walking through the dog park, and I'm like, what the fuck? Some guy just walked behind the tree, man. And I'm like, all right, that's a weirdo. And it's late at night. And I'm like, no, weirdo, you're not going to hide behind the tree. So I walked right up to him, man. I'm going, you better get up. As I'm talking, I'm going, you better get out from behind the tree, bud. You better get out from behind the tree, bud. I would do a 360 around the tree. There's no one in it. I look up the tree. There's no one in it.
Wow.
And then I'm like, all right, that was a ghost. So I just put down my mind, and I literally, how I do it is, I didn't care about them back then, right? But when activity got heavy, I literally started doing prayers, man, talking to Jesus, right? That's when it stopped, right? But that dude in the suit is the most commonly seen ghost here, and he'll just be walking around different places. But the best spot is up where the train cars come in here.
Right, yeah, there's a little turnaround park.
Because that used to be the main spot, right? So he's seen a lot there. On that same link I gave you, I think it's in that video, or it's a different video. There's a guy who's seen that thing, that ghost guy, call him the thing, whatever. He's seen him when he was like a teenager, right? Puts it out of his mind. He's an old guy. He has his kid. His kid's a teenager. Kids come home one night, says, "Dad, guess what I saw at the park?" His dad knew right away, but he said nothing, right? And he listened to the kid tell him the exact same story that he saw when he was a teenager. So they both saw the
same
guy
thing
in the same spot. They both saw him up at the train thing.
They both had the same experience. That's weird.
He said he just kind of looked at him and he didn't do nothing, and that was that, right? But I seen him literally. He went like this. He was walking. Like, here's the tree. This is the tree, okay?
What, where the bench is?
Yeah, the tree's like this thick.
Hang on, let me point it at the cat. Although we can't really, there's nothing. We can't see nothing. We're just gonna have to use your imagination, viewers.
The tree's like, you know, not even like 2 feet thick. So the thing just walks like this, and then there's nothing. So the momentum.
So as it went past the tree, it vanished, right?
Yeah, the momentum of it should have kept going, right? So I'm like, wait a minute, dude, stop behind the tree.
He's hiding.
I bolted right to the tree, and I'm like, whatever, right?
You thought he was pranking you? Yeah, no, that must have been very surreal.
Some people cause crime in here, so you gotta like have the eyes in the back of your head.
Yeah, no, I can, like you say, parks are not places really to be wandering alone after dark unless you're a little bit tooled up.
I'm gonna walk out here, man, see if I can get the mosquitoes to follow me. You can chill, man.
Yeah, no, cool. But I was gonna say, when I just moved here, I'd only been here a matter of weeks.
Yep.
I was down in Liberty Village, and I'd stopped off just to sit on a bench and smoke a joint. It was on a summer's day, and I finished up my smoking, and I walked around the corner, and everybody was in like Victorian period costume, and it tripped me the fuck out. I was like, holy shit, I've walked back in time. What the hell's happened? I found a portal.
It's a movie, eh?
It was the Murdoch Mysteries. They were filming Murdoch Mysteries down there, and it took me about 2 or 3 minutes of like, shit, why the fuck, what's happened? It kind of took me by, you know, like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting it. And then I kind of noticed a few of these people in this period costume were looking on their iPhones and stuff, and then the realization, oh my goodness, they're filming a movie. But for a few seconds there was this surreal, like, holy shit, because you don't expect to walk into, you know, a whole bunch of people wearing period costume in modern day Toronto. And they do film a lot of movies here as well. A couple of years back, I happened to see the Suicide Squad, the chase. There was the Batmobile was chasing the Joker's Lamborghini down Yonge Street.
Yeah.
And I just got off of work, and Yonge Street was closed down, and they were filming it, and it was very funny because obviously they speed it up for the movie.
Yeah.
And the Batmobile and this Lamborghini were going about like 3 miles an hour down Yonge Street outside the Eden Centre, not the Yonge Centre, the Eden Centre. There's the Urban Eatery that was in the background, and it was just a snail's pace that they were going along, and it was pretty cool. And another thing I noticed again when I wasn't here very long, I walked around the corner in downtown, and there were all these New York police cars parked up on the street, and a couple of New York cabs, and they Toronto doubles up as New York for a lot of these like Law and Order and those kind of crime shows, because it's street level. Toronto kind of does resemble
Buffy the Vampire Slayer.
Was that shot here as well?
Yeah, they did some episodes here, man.
Yeah, that's right, they did.
I watched them.
And I think
they did them in Smoke Park? No. Toke Park? No. Yeah, it might be Smoky Park or Smoke Park. It's right downtown, right off Yonge Street, right? Right between Queen and...
Yeah, that's another thing. We have lots of these little kind of parkettes in Toronto, and my ex-girlfriend from New Orleans, she used to find them very like amusing, like because they sort of seem something of nothing. And
Cloud Gardens.
Yeah, there's a little one down on the corner of Roncesvalles, just as you get to Queen, and there's a little like shared allotment there.
Where they have that garden. It's like a little community garden.
Yeah, that's exactly it. And some people grow some veggies and stuff. I don't know if you can see this, probably not, but there's a second little star twinkling over there in the distance. You can clearly see the big one, which we believe is Venus.
Nope, I think what's happened, the faint one is Venus, and the big bright one is, you can see some red to it, can't you?
Yeah, the one in the background that we can't quite pick up on the camera here is twinkling. There, yeah, you can see it. You can just about make it out underneath. There, it's twinkling away. And there's a mosquito buzzing around my ear completely, so I don't know if this is enjoyable or not for the viewers in this video, because it is got a little bit dark and the bats seem to have stopped. And I don't know about you, but hasn't it got very, very still? I'm gonna roll another one. Anyway, have you noticed that? It's like
people don't come here at night, really. Like I said, all the freaks come out at night. Right?
Freaks come out at night,
and the people that do it, they're like us. They're nature people, or they're just people that are always around the city. They don't care, you know. They're used to all the freaks.
Yeah, and there are a lot of freaks in the city, but like it just. a few minutes ago you could kind of hear like a little bit of wind and rustling in the wind in the trees, but it just seems very, very eerie and still.
Yeah.
And that's a little bit because you and we both, something just swooped in front of us there. I don't know if you caught that on the camera.
It's the bats.
And it is the bats, but it come down, it dive bombed. Maybe it's going to get a little insect or
It's good, man. You can eat all these mozzies.
Yeah, for me, I am getting bitten. I've got some lumps coming on my arms.
Go for a walk, man. If we both go for a walk out here, man, we'll follow us.
We will, and the thing I've realised that we're silhouettes. They won't even see me because I almost need another piss again. Yeah, let's go piss over here. I don't know what's wrong with my bladder, but let's just go concentrate on stuff while we're away. That is better, Thrift Fam. I don't know what's wrong with me. I keep needing to piss every 5 minutes, and I did overly hydrate before I left the house to come out this evening. But Crying Hippie is over there in the distance, trying to summon the owls. And let's see if we can get the camera into position so we can kind of look up and see a little bit of the star. So it is getting a little bit dark. We do got a flash, but that does, we'll put it on, we'll probably see the flies and the mosquitoes around us.
Now you're distracting them with the light.
Yeah, no, we just dragged them away and they come back. So I'm gonna roll a little joint here. But yeah, the storm that we seen, we both caught a little bit. That was what I was going to mention before I needed to pee again and you dragged the mosquitoes away. That was very strange as well. When there was see the wind just come back, then you kind of caught a
good,
little
man.
breeze.
It's supposed to cool down like 17 tonight.
Yeah, and that was something I noticed yesterday, that after dark the temperature did drop in
I don't normally attract mosquitoes, man. They don't normally like my blood, but if I'm with other people, then they do, because they like other people, so they'll eat both of us, right?
Yeah, and
Normally
usually when I'm at
alone,
home, my roommate, he often gets bitten by the bugs, and I joke with him that they know better than to bite my blood, but the Hyde Park mosquitoes didn't get the memo.
They got the fucking
They
memo.
didn't get the memo. They probably went straight to spam.
It's still coming.
And they're feasting, but those poor bastards that have bit me, they're probably start having some reactions to the blood.
The memo's still coming from Carrier Pigeon from the UK.
Yeah. Do you remember
a while.
that cartoon, Catch the Pigeon? Catch the Pigeon.
No, man.
It was Dick Dastardly, and they were these guys, and they all had crazy
Dick
aeroplanes.
Dastardly rings a bell.
He was in Wacky Races as well, Dick Dastardly, and then he had the dog Muttley. And the wacky racers, and they would fly and try and chase the pigeon, catch the pigeon, and they never ever caught him. It's a little bit like kind of Tom and Jerry shenanigans, I guess. But oh my god, I have lumps on my legs and my arms from these. But this is the price you pay for outside broadcasting in the dark in the park. So what we at, 45 minutes, so we'll probably round this up at an hour because it is getting dark.
I forgot to tell you, man, to bring down sheets. Dryer sheets, you just put them in your pockets and you pat down your arms and your legs and all the spots with them. They normally keep them white too, man.
Yeah, that would have been a good idea. I mean, I did have a little, you can get those little tea lights, citronella tea lights.
Okay. Cool,
What's that, the lights?
The guy in the bike coming through the bridge.
Yeah, there it is. We get a little bit of the bridge, and you can see, well, you can't see anything. It's very dark and black at the minute, so this is just pretty much commentary going on, and we don't want to draw any more mosquitoes by turning the lights on. But I'm going to roll another little joint, and we'll probably finish up and make our way back to civilization.
Yeah, man.
We
We'll go back the same way we came. We'll hopefully see the koi wolf right behind us, man. Literally between the zoo and that path we walked in.
So that'd be funny. So we'll keep filming through that. We'll dump our trash over there before we leave. And our little, oh, I was just going to say our little bat friends seem to have disappeared, and there was one floating around overhead.
Want to trade another bud, man?
Yeah, yeah.
You can take one of mine too.
No,
man.
that's cool. Help yourself. I got plenty.
No, you throw it in.
I don't think I've got more Gorilla Glue in there because
No,
that
that's
was
cool.
down at the bottom. But there's a little bud for you for the.
Sweet.
But what's that little green light? There we go.
It's Jewel.
Jewel in the Crown.
You know
Not the Jewel in the Crown. What was that movie with Kathleen Turner and Michael Douglas? Jewel on the Nile. Jewel of the Nile. That was a pretty cool movie.
That was a really good friggin' movie, dude, for its time.
Yeah, it's kind of
And funny too, and romantic too, man. I'm into all that shit, man.
yeah, it kind of was like a little bit like a modern day. I mean, not modern day now because it was set in the 80s, but at the time it was like a modern day Indiana Jones.
Yeah,
And,
definitely.
I wouldn't mind rewatching those videos because
Yeah.
she was an author, and she suddenly
She's hot, man.
she was back then. I don't know whatever happened to Kathleen Turner. She went a little bit because in Friends she played Chandler's male dad who had a sex change. If you remember, I don't know if you
That
watched
was
Friends.
her?
Yeah, Kathleen Turner was Chandler's dad, and she kind of got like I say, she was hot in the 80s, and something happened to her in the 90s, and she started looking like a man. But yeah, she was Chandler's dad. So maybe we might even catch a shooting star or something. Sometimes you see those at this time of year.
2 meteors, like 2 nights ago. I saw 2. The night before, I just sat down up front of my desk, looked out the window, boom, meteor. So the next night, I kept looking up, right? I saw 2 of them within half an hour, man. And they're all green. They're all green and really low.
Wow. Yeah, I've seen a few meteors and shooting stars. Certainly when I was living out in the high desert in Cali, that was beautiful because unlike Los Angeles, the high desert doesn't have the light pollution. And
Yeah, man.
at night time, lying out on the desert floor and looking up
Where
at the
were you?
skies.
Like Nevada?
No, I was in
Cali, but
California, Hesperia, which is next to Apple Valley, which is
you're up by Nevada.
San Bernardino. It's only like 50 miles from downtown LA as the crow flies, but it's up in the mountains. If you ever see kind of the skyline of Los Angeles in the mountains behind.
I thought Napa Valley was by the Nevada border, man.
Yeah, that's a little bit more like it's about a 3-hour drive before you get to the Nevada border from LA.
Oh yeah, I'm totally different area.
But
we went from San Fran to Nevada.
Yeah, and it's
Lake
more
Tahoe.
Yeah, that's more NorCal. NorCal is closer to Tahoe in that. But certainly down like in San Bernardino County, which is where Hesperia was, there was like a couple of main streets that were pretty modern and illuminated, but the majority of the town was farm-like and kind of desert people. And I had some adventures up there in the short time I lived in the desert. I was living in an abandoned RV van.
Cool, man.
Until the owner come back for it, and then I ended up living in an econo lodge for a few months. But the high desert and the animals and coyotes and certainly like insects and ants and spiders and snakes were something that were very common. I was very like seeing real life tumbleweeds.
Yeah.
That's stuff you only see in like the cowboy movies. And the Joshua trees. I used to have, like literally Joshua trees in my backyard. And I must admit, certainly during the winter months in Canada, I longed for that abandoned RV in the desert in the summer. Dude, I just seen some flashing lights up in the trees. And it didn't look like, yeah, it's still there. There's a little flashing light. Let me point the camera in the direction of the flashing light. Kind of just over this direction here. See? It might be a firefly. There's some flashing lights going on in the trees. Can you see them?
Yeah.
I don't know if the camera can see that. It's probably.
There, when we were talking.
Now there's
about
one
meteors,
just up here. Beavers?
Meteors?
Oh,
We were
meteors.
talking about them. I've come here a lot to see that, right? Like I used to come here every day, dude. Every friggin' day. Rain, snow, sleet, I didn't care, man. Extreme weather didn't matter. And a lot of times, man, after praying, I would see these meteors in the sky, right? Or orbs going through the trees,
Uh-huh.
right? And like I said, if you don't pay attention to them and you don't get scared and it doesn't elevate your conscience at all, you know how to just like put it out of your mind and just keep doing what you're doing, the more they'll try to interact with you, the more things will happen, right? Like the ghosties and shit. So some of the orbs are ghosties, some of them are just literally meteors going through the sky, and some are different, man. Like one time I came here, it was winter time, but it wasn't like much snow on the ground, right? This is only like 2 Christmases ago.
I'm putting the camera over there because the fireflies are pretty interesting.
And I seen a meteor as I'm staring at the Big Dipper, right? It's the spot I always stare at because I see a lot of things flying around it. And I just did some prayers, man, for some buds, right? And literally, man, I stared at the Big Dipper and I want to see something. I wasn't asking God. I was just thinking, like, hey, man, I want to see something really cool because I always see stuff when I'm looking at it. So this red thing appears, just a red ball, man. And on each
In the sky?
Yeah, on each side of the ball, you can see how it's kind of spinning, but it's in the same spot, right? It's like a fireball. And on each side was black wings, dude, that look just like the one you see on TV or the videos that show a red planet with black wings.
Yeah, I know the
winged
one. Like
planet.
kind of like the Bacardi symbol.
Almost, yeah. But it's almost like one of the emojis too, right?
Dude, there's some really strange lights going on out the corner of my eye.
It's just some dude with a cell phone, I think.
Is it?
Down in there, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and I guess I'm trying to will some.
Check it out, man. So when you don't want to do that, man. You'll see shit. So when I friggin' seen that, I was like, wow, that's cool, man. And I was like, that's awesome. And then I did. I was like, thank God, thank you, let me see that. And I was like really blown away, right? Like, what the fuck? It just fainted away, man. I'm not someone that didn't move, right? So it wasn't something I've never seen anything like it, right? So when I got to my car, I'm still like full of adrenaline, right? And I said a prayer again. I said, if that was a symbol that the end is near, right? I'm to prepare. Let me know. Let me see something again. So I pulled over. As soon as I pulled over, there was a spot up here where I just filmed the owls in one of those videos. My latest owl video on YouTube. It's the spot where they all gathered, right? Every owl in the park gathered, man. Last time I came here, dude.
Really?
Literally, I've never seen so many gather and mate and everything in front of me. It's all on video too. You can hear it. So as soon as I pulled over my car, I opened the door, dude. Didn't even turn the car off. I look. The meteor goes right over, but it was really low, right? And you could see the dust tail behind it. So I was like, all right, God, thank you. You just showed me. I said, that was so beautiful. I'd love to see it. I didn't even get to say, like, the thought, I'd love to see another one.
And another one appeared.
But this time, dude, it was really low and going like this, like a corkscrew. Like I could see
Spiraling,
the ball
yeah.
spiraling. It left a spiral tail behind it, but all the colors was like every color of the rainbow it turned into. And the dust trail coming off it, you could see
as it kind of come through the atmosphere, I guess.
the smoke that was left behind it. A plane was just leaving the airport. As you've seen the planes fly low here, the plane was higher than the smoke from that meteor, dude.
Wow.
So it was like lower
than
yeah, it was like, it looked like literally it was like 100 feet above my head, not even. It was just amazing, right? And then the other orb thing was in the trees up by where the owls were. It knows where I'm going. The owls were already hooting, so I was going right to their spot, right? And I see this orange light. And as soon as I saw it, I couldn't control my shit for a split second, right? I was like, that's a freaking bad orb, because that's the first time I saw a bad one. I could feel this energy, right? And then it turned from bright to like orange to like yellow to like white, went up into the trees, and this is only like, see where that pole is?
Yeah,
where the hut is, where the hut is, dude. Closer to us to the hut, but about that distance. And I'm walking on the same trail we just came through, right? Where we stopped with all those Shakespeare stuff.
Yeah, that was
right there, right? So as I know that there's no trail there, and they're only that high. How can they be walking through the trees? They're 30 feet in the air, right? So as soon as that thought came, and I was like, the different colors, I was like,
Mhm.
it's changing from bad to good. I could feel that, right? It was weird, man. Boom, it went completely out. And then I was like, that's when I got scared, because I know it's reading my thoughts,
It's
A
tuned
lot of
in.
things do that. The paranormal read your thoughts.
Yeah, no,
Lights do,
that's kind of, I think, one of those things. You kind of have to be on a frequency.
Yeah.
And something I've heard, and as I said, I mentioned my witch friend. We often say to each other that we are on the same frequency, because
Yeah.
we sometimes can think the same thoughts without having to speak. It's only about sort of strange customers or people that bring a bad energy, and you know, you can kind of pick that up. People have got good or bad energies, and
So when I kept walking, I was like, okay, I hope it's gone. I don't want to see it above me when I'm there up close, because I knew like it was like it was struggling to become good or bad, or it was just weird, man. I've seen all these orbs lots and lots, but I never had that weird communicating feeling.
yeah, kind of like you were almost connected
And
to it.
I've seen them way up in the sky and said, oh man, I wish you would come back so my buddy beside me would see it. And then that's happened and stuff. That's a different communicating shit. This was like, didn't want me to see that it was good or bad. And that's why
Right, it kind of disguised itself.
colors, right? And it went from bright yellow to bright orange to like
Yeah, man.
bright white. So when I started walking again, as soon as I had that thought, I don't want to see it where my owl buddies are, poof, it appears again. And I've already walked almost 30, 40 feet closer. So I'm almost half the distance between here. And I could see it, man. It was like way up in the trees, man, like way up here. That's 50 feet, you know? And then it just totally went into nothing, man, and just slowly disintegrated down and shrunk its size down into nothing, disintegrated. It was quite fascinating, man.
Yeah, no, it sounds it, and certainly, unfortunately, we haven't seen any of that cool kind of stuff tonight, and I think we'll probably have to stop it now because the screen is pitch black, and although we are talking,
and
there's
you want
nothing.
to save some for the walk back.
Try and save a little bit of battery. Although I don't know how much we're going to pick up on the walk back, because it was pretty dark in there when we had daylight without the
You'll hear the owl screeching at least. Or the coyote,
yeah,
coyotes.
but we might have to put the flashlight in, but probably moving we might outrun the mosquitoes, because that was a little bit of a dark trail, and that's why I brought the flashlight that glows in the dark.
Oh, dude, you just follow behind me, man. You don't need no light. Trust me, man, the lights are bad in here, man. Bugs come like crazy.
So yeah, there we go. So we're gonna cut this off now, and we may do a little bit of filming on the way back, and if we don't, if it is too dark, then so be it. But we did see some fireflies and some bats and some interesting sights on our little walk through the trail, and we did see the star up in the sky, which I don't know if you can see anymore. There it is, still twinkling, and there's a mosquito buzzing around my ear. So we didn't see the owls. Nothing's calling back. So that's it, Thrift fam. This has been a TSP Crying Hippie 420 walkabout in the park after dark special outside broadcast, brought to you from Ship Video Productions for the Thrift Store Prepper. Say goodbye, Crying Hippie.
God bless you. Peace.
Awesome. We'll see you in the next video. Take it easy, Thrift fam, and keep it thrifty.